What we're trying to achieve today is create an inventory reorder alert using your spreadsheet in Google Sheets and also sending an alert via Gmail. There are 5 nodes to this workflow. First, how did we end up with this workflow? We used n8n's AI to help us build our workflow. We provided the details of what we're looking for. First, we need a scheduled n8n workflow that runs on a defined schedule, daily, twice daily, or hourly. It depends on you. We will discuss that while we're opening the schedule trigger node. Next is it reads our inventory data from Google Sheet, then it checks items current quantity against its reorder point, and then it sends a consolidated alert listing every time that needs to be reordered. It will run for a few minutes before it spits out a workflow for us. And so this workflow has already been refined, and I will explain to you as we go through each node. Our first node is the schedule trigger. So we click that, double click, so that we can open this modal. This is a scheduled trigger. You need to provide trigger rules, whether what's the interval for those and days between trigger. It will be different if you select minutes or if you select hours. So it will be hours between triggers or days between triggers. It depends on you how often you would like for the automation to check on your reorders. Next up is to read your inventory. Earlier, we created a Google Sheets account credential for n8n or connected our current Google account where our reorder sheets or inventory sheet exists. So if you want to create another account or connect another Google account, let's click on this one and then create new credential. It will open this modal to set up your credential. This is a very straightforward setting up. So you need to click in sign in with Google, and then that opens a modal wherein you will need to log in with your Google account. Once that's done, it is 1 or 2 clicks away, and then it connects with n8n. And then you select that credential in here. So we currently have this Google Sheets account credential, and then our resource is sheet within document. The document is your entire spreadsheet, and then we get the tabs or we get the sheets. And then the operation is get rows. On the document from list, we need to select the document where your inventory exists. So we need to search for inventory, and then this is the sheet I made for inventory reorder alerts. This is how it looks like. This is the very basic spreadsheet that we are using. We have the SKU column, the item name, the current quantity, and the reorder point. So that is a very straightforward spreadsheet. If you have another spreadsheet that has all of these columns, you don't need to rename them, but you just need to make sure that in the next nodes, these are properly identified. Next is we need to select the sheet. So these are the tabs within your spreadsheet. Since a document only has one sheet, it gets the name of that sheet, which is sheet 1. And then we can execute these steps later so that we can see the output. And you can also check if we are getting an output from our spreadsheet. Next is we have 2 code nodes. The first node for code is JavaScript. Few important points here is that you can copy the code in our blog and paste it here. If you have a different quantity name for in your spreadsheet, you must change current quantity to your quantity column name. And then the number, which is the reorder point, if you also have a different column name, then you must change this. These are the only 2 columns that you need to rename for now. So this checks which items needs to be reordered. In the next node, we still have a JavaScript code. This is in our step 4 in our blog. So you can copy paste those and make sure that the item name, the SKU, if you have different names for those columns, you must replace them with the column names that you have. So let's run through which column names you should update. First is the item name here, the SKU, the current quantity here, and then the reorder point. So that's it. And you can also update the text here. So if you don't want to include reorder point, you can delete that. Really make sure that when you execute this step, the output is correct. If you have any questions, just comment on our video and we will help you as best as we can. So this code will return two JSON objects, which is the subject and the message. The subject is what we're going to use as a subject in our Gmail node part, and the message is what we're going to use in our Gmail node for the body of our email. And finally, the send alert. So we are going to connect our credentials for Gmail, which is similar to Google Sheets, which is sign in with Google. And then when you are prompted to log in with your Google account, click that. And then once you're all good, this will be connected to n8n. All right, since we already have a credential, which is our Gmail account here, resource is a message. This is a message that we're sending and the operation is sent. This is not deleting, this is not get many, mark as read, but we are going to send an email. The to field is which email you're going to send the email to. So add more emails by using comma. So this is a comma separated value. So what we're using for subject is this JSON subject, which we got from the previous node, which is the subject, and then the message is our JSON message. Make sure that you've got these added. You can also just copy paste from our blog, but you can type this in or pause this video, and then once it's all good, it will send a message. All right, so let's execute the node one by one. So let's execute this step. So we are manually executing the trigger. But if you're not manually triggering this one, it will be sent every day at midnight at 0 minutes. So this is the timestamp and then the readable date, time, etc. And then we will execute the step for reading inventory. So you can see here when you're looking at the output data, you can see the row number, the SKU, current quantity, and the reorder point. This is very similar to our sheet here. So we'll just double check. All right. And then our code in JavaScript where we get the items that we need to reorder. There are two items. And then the next code is formatting the email that we're going to send. So you can see here the subject and then the message. This will then be used in our send alert Gmail step. And then we execute this step. And then you can see the ID, the thread ID, and it has been sent. Then we can check, and this is how it will look like for the reorder alert. If you want to make it look better, or if you want to provide more details, you can ask n8n AI to provide you with a guide. But if you can do it on your own, then go ahead. So that's how we would set an inventory reorder alert if you're using Google Sheets or Gmail. Thank you so much. And again, if you have any questions, don't forget to comment down below and we will help you the best we can. And we also have our link to our blog in the description.